Okay, so this is going to be a really quick video because this little unit of work is quite small and quite self-explanatory. So today we're looking at unit 4.5, which is business location. And the first thing that we need to think about is factors influencing location. So these are the things that businesses have to think about when choosing where to locate. And there are 5 things that your exam board want you to consider. Firstly, costs. And when we're talking about costs, we're talking firstly of the site. As you know, different places cost different amounts of money. So if you want to locate a retail shop in the centre of London, it's going to cost you a lot more than locating in the centre of Diss. So you need to be able to consider that, and that's the same for anything. Warehouses, do you want to locate your warehouse in the middle of town where land is more expensive, or on the outskirts of town where land is cheaper, that sort of thing. And of the relevant transport. So if you do choose to save money on the site and locate on the outskirts of town, but the majority of your sales are going to the inside of the town, the centre of the town, are your transport costs going to be too high, and would it just be worth locating in the centre of the town? You've got to weigh those two up. The next is the government. This is an interesting one, but basically the government is involved in planning towns and planning different areas, and they put in different strategies, different bonuses, different policies to make different towns develop better. So it might be that in a town that has got a struggling high street, they might drop business rates. So when you rent a shop or a business unit, you have to pay business rates on top of your rent, and that is kind of like a tax to the council, to the government. If an area is particularly deprived or particularly struggling, the government and the council will drop the business rates in that area to encourage people to come in, and that's an opportunity for businesses. They can take advantage of that. It might be that there are subsidies and bursaries to work in particular locations. That's basically either free money or discounted costs help towards some of your costs. They sometimes put in super fast broadband in places that are struggling, just to try and attract more businesses. All these sorts of things need to be thought about because they could help your business, particularly as a startup, to save money. Third, proximity to market. When I say proximity, I mean closeness, nearness to. So we're talking about the closeness to your customers, how close you can be to your customers. This is particularly important for retailers. If you are looking to open a clothes shop, the logical place to put your clothes shop is on the high street because that's where people are going to be shopping for clothes anyway. They're not going to do all of their clothes shopping on a Saturday on the high street and then travel out to a business park just for you. That's unlikely. It's easier if you're on the high street, that sort of thing. Then, talking about proximity again, proximity to raw materials and suppliers. If you are close to your raw materials and suppliers, the cost of transporting them is going to be a lot cheaper, so it'll save you some money. Lastly, proximity to labour. This is particularly important for specialist businesses like technology. There tends to be sort of labour hubs where people who have the same specialist skills and the same education gather together. Think of it like Silicon Valley in America. All of that knowledge about technology is in that one area. So if you're opening a tech company, where do you want to go? Silicon Valley. Because you're going to have the choice of the best labour. They're going to want to work for you because it's nearby. The last thing you need to understand is the interdependent nature of business. What that basically means is that there are links between different areas of a business. So, like we've discussed before, it may not be that you locate your entire business in one site. It might be that you have a retail outlet on the high street, that you have a warehouse for storage out of town where it's cheaper. You might then have head office on a business park, that sort of thing. There are links between those different areas of the business though, and you need to think about these things when you're locating them as to how they link together. So if you've got a retail site in the centre of town, but your warehouse is on the outskirts of town, you've got to think about the transport costs. And there's an environmental impact of that as well. When we're talking about nearness, obviously the further you have to travel or the further you have to transport something, you've got a higher carbon footprint, so you need to think about that too. But you need to think about all these things when you're linking together the different areas of your business. The decisions of where to locate will be influenced by multiple factors. It's not just going to be, oh well, it's cheapest in the centre, in the outskirts of town, so we'll locate there. You're going to have to consider all the other things as well, and all the other different areas of your business as well. It's all interdependent is the key word. Super quick one there for you today. That is 4.5.